get this thing going. 7:36 p.m. to be exact. May 25th. Call the meeting to order.
We have minutes from March 23rd. On the agenda, which I sent out, that was, what was the gist of that meeting? You approved some small reimbursements, which I finally turned in last week. And we talked about some things that we might buy with another grant. And we can continue that as well. But that was the gist of the meeting from what I see. If you wanted to look them over again, I think I sent them out, and or I could read them.
I read them. I'm prepared to move to accept the minutes if that's okay.
Okay, Matt, we're going to put you down for a motion to accept the minutes.
Yep.
Next.
All right. Do we have a second?
Anyone else will all second.
Thank you, Alden.
Anyone? Nope. All right, just me. I'll second those. All those in favor?
Alden did second the motion.
Oh, sorry, Alden. All right, cool beans. Next up, all those in favor? Aye. Discussion? None.
Aye.
Next. All right, coordinators reports.
Yep, we're still recording lots and lots of stuff. One of the other recent things was they want to have an organizational meeting for the Ad Hoc Housing Study Committee tomorrow, which seemed like a good date. There had been nothing there. And then I found out later that Bethany was having the annual town meeting that day. So Nancy says she will cover it. Lately, she's been doing, she's borrowing the old Windows 7 laptop and streaming from home. I wanted to make sure that she can also click on the live feed to YouTube and even possibly turn off the program once it's finished. On the Telview. She was going to check to make sure she could do that tonight. I told her it was all the links were available and the passwords were all built into Google Chrome. And if that's dangerous information, I can always change that. So we'll see. As I said earlier, Alden, Ryan Anastasio came and helped me with the TPZ meeting last night, and also has borrowed equipment to do the annual town meeting for Woodbridge next week on Wednesday, June 2nd, because I will be out of town.
And the June 2nd meeting, that will be live streamed?
It could be if Nancy were to go there and get her laptop and put it onto YouTube, but I have not verified that she will be able to do that because she's back in the office in Hartford. And the annual town meeting starts on Wednesday. If I'm not there and Nancy's not there, and I don't have another laptop to give to Ryan, then I don't know that we are equipped to live stream from the firehouse.
So does that mean
So
does that mean the only people that would be able to see or track the meeting outside of the minutes for that public meeting would be those that are in attendance?
That's right, but you have to be there to vote anyway. You can't vote on YouTube.
That's true.
So, one of the interesting things.
Oh, sorry, Phil. I was going to say, I don't think it's necessary to live stream it. You have to be there to vote, and if you want to vote, you need to be there. So it's kind of like we're just basically,
Right.
I don't want to say recording the minutes, right? But we're capturing history. So I
Right.
mean, if you have to be there to physically vote, then I don't think there's no reason to live stream it.
And one of the interesting things that came up when there were problems with the first segment of the meeting was Sandy Stein had contacted Tom Hennick at the Freedom of Information Commission. And it turns out that annual town meetings are not subject to FOI. So the problems with voter identity that came up on Monday, the 17th, could easily be addressed by deleting that segment. There is one still in existence, and I'm waiting for orders to destroy it. But because the town is supposed to be there at the town, especially at the town meeting, that's the public that should be concerned. Therefore, it's not a big deal to destroy that record. Counterintuitive to me, but that's the word we got from FOI. What else have we been hopping around to doing? I have now done 3 or 4 of the lectures for the human services people that happen at lunchtime. And apparently more and more of them find that they would rather watch it on Channel 79 than get on Zoom, even though it's harder for them to ask questions that way from the lecturer. The last one was about avoiding scams from a woman who works at the Attorney General's office. Let's see. There's a possibility that they will have the swearing in ceremony on Thursday, July 1st. I will probably be around for that. I don't have plans at this time. Let's see, I think, Alden, were you weren't on yet when I talked about the programmer came to do part of the audio installation at the center gym, and it sounds very good. And we expect it to be finished on June 7th, especially when they get the cage for the speaker to protect it. Let's see. Is there anything else you need to know?
I had a quick question. If now is an okay time to bring it up.
Sure.
Someone had reached out to me. I guess she likes to watch the Woodbridge Government Access channel, like the TV, and she had I guess she was looking for a certain meeting and it wasn't on there. I know we're doing the YouTube for a lot of them, but I guess I was just wondering if you could quickly just help me, clarify. So are meetings that are on the YouTube not on the TV, and vice versa?
Okay, normally when we try to do it live, we do it live both to TV and to YouTube. When we stream to YouTube, it is then recorded there, but it's not necessarily ready for me to put on television yet. So I try to get everything on television that's new that week on by Friday, or at least the weekend. We had 4 meetings last night. It's going to take me a while to get those on, especially if this computer is not up to snuff.
Yeah, because what happens, Matt, is when Pooh is streaming it right to YouTube, it's already basically compressing it for her, right? For it to go online. When she records it and then she goes to put it up on the channel, it's a completely different process. And that's very time consuming.
Before we
So-
just figured out the live streaming, we would give priority to get it on Channel 79 first and then on YouTube, because we started out as a cable channel, and that's where some of our grant funds come from. All of our grant funds.
So if someone were trying, so I was gonna ask so if someone was trying to watch live, the best, the best thing for them would be to watch it on the stream, right?
I guess, well, it really depends. Most of the time, It's streaming. It's going to the TV channel at the same time that it's going to YouTube. On occasion, when there's a conflict like police and fire, I might put one on TV and the other on YouTube. And that partly depends on what priorities we have. If TPZ is on the same night as all of them, TPZ gets everything.
Fair enough.
At least right now, as long as it's difficult applications going around. But do you remember if she mentioned which program it was she was looking for?
I can I'll dig up the email, Pooh, and I can let you know about, or I can update off the meeting. I don't remember which one off the top of my head right now though, but I'll get that info for you if you want.
Okay, if it was the May 17th segment of the annual town meeting, that is not going to be shown anywhere ever again, as far as I know.
No, it wasn't in regards to the town meeting. I think it was just it was just a regular either a commission meeting or a board meeting.
Okay. I have I can send you the link to the page where I explain Mondays we show education, Tuesdays we show land use, and that sort of thing. So that that might help point it out to her.
I appreciate it. I just wanted to have an answer for it because I wasn't actually, I wasn't too
Sure.
sure what to say. I wanted to, make sure I wasn't spreading misinformation or anything.
Sure.
Do we still post a schedule on the blog or on the town website?
Not on the town website, because anytime I would have a blog that was on the town website. And as I was trying to do both, because the advice was keep both up, I found for the time involved to do that, I just concentrated on doing the weekends.
Yeah.
And because it was the weekends and I wasn't sure what was going to be ready to play, I would sometimes have it ready at the last minute. And anything I put on the website had to go through Betsy Yagla. And if she went home, it wouldn't go
that's
on
it, you're
until
done.
Monday. Yeah. So I just stopped doing it on the town website, and I just kept up the Blogspot blog.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
But I have that there.
But it's out there. That's my whole point.
It is out there, and I think I put it on the banner at the end of all the announcements of the week. The schedule for this channel can be found at this address, but that doesn't really help people who aren't who just don't go to the internet. I think there was a Country Club of Woodbridge Commission member who said, "Oh, I never look up anything on the internet. You got to have it on TV." So I've talked with our with Telview about that, and they said, yeah, that's in the works. They're thinking about a way that they can automatically generate a slide that I can pop into the between meeting schedule. But I guess I'm surprised they haven't done that yet, because they have a thing where I should be able to publish to a web page, but I wasn't able to make that work with the town website. In any case, things are getting better. They sent out a link to a webinar, which I didn't go to live, but I've been working my way through the recording about how they have a way for us to put captions on our television programming. And I'm pretty sure if we have embedded closed captions in the programming, Altice will send it back, because some of our older PSAs that had closed captions still have them.
They will.
They
will
will
send it back. Yeah.
So that's among the things that I was thinking about putting on a grant application for next year.
Okay.
If we're ready to talk about that, I have a good feeling about it. It might cost.
That's always good.
There's a one-time license fee, and then for 100 hours of whatever, your choice of programming that receives captions, the first 100 hours is $1,500. If you don't use it all, you can carry it over to the next year.
Oh,
which
wow,
sounds
that's
great.
good.
The only cost I'm not sure about is a subscription to the Connect service, which is a cloud service that I use for borrowing programs from other stations, and it also helped me for file transfer, so I could load it up and then send it to the TV channel without having to leave Bethany, which was very useful. I wish I'd known about it during snowstorms earlier, but it was very useful when I wanted to avoid going out to town hall too much. Currently, we are not being charged a subscription for that service, and I don't know if they've just sort of overlooked us to be nice because we're so small, or if they just forgot to bill us. So if I ask about the captioning, I may we may be getting another $1,200 bill, but let's just put it on the grant every year for the time being. Those are some of my ideas. I had a list. Okay, streaming from Center Gym. Brad suggested trying to get a router and get a line up from Human Services somehow, which is like half a floor down. I'd really rather have an Ethernet connection, but
He said to put a router, so it's a half a floor down.
yeah,
And to
get
put
it,
a
get
router.
it. So yeah, just get a wireless router. I don't know. I know somehow the registrars have internet access when they're running elections, but nobody will tell me how to get into it.
The
So
thing is, even if they have internet while they're running elections, it's not going to be strong enough for you. I mean, the bandwidth is not going to be there for you to need to do what you need to do. That
Right.
first and foremost. Secondly, he's probably talking an access point or an extender, and again, it's going to be throttled by half. You know,
Sure.
Not because the cable company is throttling the bandwidth, but just that's there's
To run that much line.
right.
Yeah.
Extenders don't put out that amount of bandwidth. So you'd be better off with a hardwired connection.
A real Ethernet connection. So
Correct.
I've asked about this, but I don't think anybody really knows the architecture of what internet connections there are in that building. We know that the main servers are over in the police department on the other side. We know that there are Ethernet connections to all the human services offices. But I don't know why we can't just get it in the gym, because it would be useful for I would think it would be useful for the finance department when they're presenting budgets. They could keep going with a laptop and just loading it on a stick, but of course, once it was there, the other thing about a Wi-Fi is that everybody starts using it if you're not careful. So anyway, that's a project that's in there, and there are alternatives. There's something called Live View that was especially for remote broadcasting. Their big example is sports, and that involved using subscriptions to all the cell phone services there are. So if one didn't have enough bandwidth, then your equipment would switch to another subscription. My friend up in West Hartford has it. It could be expensive, but that does exist. So for the time
Like how
being,
expensive?
maybe not quite $10,000, but I should really ask. It was enough that I stopped looking at it, I remember.
Fair enough.
Useful for sports. I think she shared. She was able to share sports programming that involved other towns. So using the Pigpedia grant for that was very useful because it was serving more people that way, if you could go across borders. I would still like to pursue upgrading the transmission equipment. I think it was about a year ago, I had a email exchange with the representative at Altis. I have a quote in hand from Radiant Communications for a send, it would be a send at our end and a receive unit at their end. But I'd like to have the Altis technicians help with installing that and tell us if it works or not. She said she'd get back to me and she never did. So I guess it's about time I emailed her again and see how she's doing.
What would they tell you what would they confirm is working?
If the equipment I have in mind would go with it. The salesman, I told him it was for Cablevision. It was this much distance, and he picked out units that should be compatible with the Cablevision Altis system.
What units did they do? Remember offhand?
Don't remember offhand. I wonder if I have it in here
Okay.
somewhere.
So they're just going to confirm service at their device that they've installed.
Well, no, I'd
they're
like
not
the
gonna confirm
technicians to help me
anything else.
hook it up. Because
They may or may not. A lot has changed with them.
Okay.
So,
So don't hang my hopes on it.
yeah, they might only check to make sure that a signal is going from the pole into wherever the location is, or just where their, where their input is outside the home also, or I say home, but outside, the building.
Right.
But, and they might not go any further than that. They might say, hey, you need to get someone to do a professional install, or they might charge you for a professional install.
Well, yeah, I guess if they wanted to charge, then I'd want to know what that was so I could put it in the grant.
Exactly. And then what they would just do is put their equipment. Now, if it's equipment that you're buying and not their equipment, then they may not even install it.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing.
There was a tale long ago that Greenwich got stuff from Radiant for their transmission, but they're a little bit closer to Norwalk than we are. I believe they sold it to Hartford Public Access as well, 3 channels to Comcast, and Comcast installed it for him.
They may have. Comcast has different rules.
They sure do.
Yeah.
They may be a big bully, but I don't know. Their public access people are very nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, those were the 3 things I could think of for putting in the grant application. That plus the yearly service contract for the TriCaster, the big TriCaster in the meeting room. For this year, I'm going to see if I can get DNR Labs to come and tune up the equipment in there, because sounds like people are kind of inching towards live meetings again in July. And would like to make sure things are working. Got one camera that keeps blinking out. So for the end of the year, let's see, where did I put it? I figure we have still, from the grant money last year, we still have $13,000. And when we wrote the grant, we figured half that we had budgeted for personnel would be 11,000 something, which leaves 2,000 something for other ideas. And we could ask to pop it into the capital account for the next time we have a big expense, like hopefully getting an Ethernet connection in the gym. Or we could say, we know that we are running over budget on, certainly in my personnel line. And hard to say, we still have 1,500. I don't know, between the line for other staff and me, they may cancel each other out. So there's that. We could put it into, what do we still have in technical supplies and equipment? We still have $1,000 and a little more. And the only thing I could think of was another external hard drive for archiving some of our things because I like to have them on hand. UV filters, I bought a couple for the big cameras. Last time I bought stuff for myself, cables, camera bag. Not really that much. That we might have $500 that I could imagine spending. Besides getting a tune-up for the equipment in. So if you think it's okay, I might write a memo and ask for money to be, any money remaining from last year's grant to be put into the capital account against future capital expenditures, because the money from the grant has to be spent for the TV channel and not for other purposes. If that sounds all right with you guys.
Yep, that sounds like what we should do.
Okay. Thank you, Mary. You know something? I forgot to hit record on this again. I'm really sorry. This WebEx thing is really a problem. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. It says it has been recording for the past 39 minutes. Okay. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. Those are my recommendations. I don't know if there's anything you want to actually vote on. We can continue this at our next meeting, which would be June 22nd.
I don't have anything for us to vote on about what we were speaking of. Does anybody else?
Or if you come up with other ideas for that, the let's see, I believe it's July 1st or July 15th that we have to send in the application. Probably any follow-up reports on this year's use of the grant. So I will do that. I will get information to Matt about how to find out when things are playing. I'm thinking about for getting more personnel help. I noticed when I was going through the website that there are postings for jobs in other departments. So rather than go to Indeed, where we may get people that are qualified, we may not, and after a certain amount of time we get charged, I think I would rather post the job on our website and then notify some of the schools that there is work for students, certainly this summer and maybe later in communications departments. I think Gateway has one, as well as Southern, maybe Quinnipiac. So that's what I'm putting on my to-do list.
You get charged for Indeed?
I believe Matt told me that. It said after a certain period of time.
Because I do that for rec and we don't get charged.
You don't get charged?
You just need to do an unbudgeted posting.
Okay.
I think depending on what, like, I think your first posting is okay, but I think if you use it consistently, you have to get a premium account.
I use it consistently, trust me that.
And you just say unbudgeted? What? Okay.
Unbudgeted account.
Okay. So if I open up
Unbudgeted
Indeed.
post, or, unbudgeted posting, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you may not get a lot of traffic, but you may not be getting a lot of traffic, period.
That may be. I'm sort of hoping there are going to be students that are looking for work, though.
Yeah.
I have not
Pua,
heard anything. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry. I was gonna suggest that you also post it on like the town Facebooks as well, because you get a lot of parents on there, and maybe they know their kids interested in television or something like it, and they bring it up that way.
Okay. Okay. Teresa, do you ever post jobs on Facebook? From the Facebook pages?
Both Facebook, yes. We do it through Facebook. You can set it up with a budget, which is pretty cool. Like you can choose how many people you want to hit. You can actually just do a regular Facebook ad for posting a job. You could do it budgeted or in their job group, or unbudgeted in their job group. Budgeted just pops up more like on people's like kind of view things, and you can choose what areas. I usually choose like a 15 to 20 mile radius kind of thing or less. But
Mhm.
usually I do 15 or less, and it gives you how many people it'll hit. Say if you put in a budget of $20 or $50, something like that. You can do it that way through their job posting, which is actually pretty good, good because they actually send you updates. I think it's like every day how many people viewed your posting. So at least
Mhm.
you know people are actually looking on it. And then I also do Indeed. And I do that there through when I go to post a position for them, it'll say, what's the budget for this posting? I'll put $0. And then you'll click, are you sure you don't want to budget your posting? And I'll hit no, and it'll still post. And I still get people applying.
Huh. Okay.
So I do it both ways.
I'll have a look again then.
I could send you some screenshots
Okay.
to see what it looks like on my end, because I have I had it set up 2 accounts for them.
Okay.
I actually do like some advertising for some of the flyers and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, and we actually get some feedback off of it because it tells you how many people it hit, and also from what towns, which it's good where you can target what towns you want to hit, not in a negative way, but if you're a parent from North Haven, you're not necessarily going to go to an after-school program in Woodbridge.
Mhm.
I'm just throwing out of town, but so it's nice that you can actually pick like towns that are close that would actually make sense for
Right.
parents.
Sure. Rather than drive across the Quinnipiac Bridge or anything.
Yeah.
And I had that one really good student from Southern who lived in Brantford, but he was spending a lot of time at Southern, and he was working some shifts at Katz's. So I guess he was willing to spend time on this side anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Other matters. Posting jobs. Okay. I hope you all are well. My husband's been walking around the house muttering, "I've got to get out of here." So we finally decided to go to Block Island in June, right after Memorial Day, which is why Ryan is going to be handling the annual town meeting. Possibly, Nancy might be able to help him. She might like to go by. And well, I guess it depends on how heavily it will in fact be attended and what the parking will be like. But I have the luxury of finding out later. I have no more business for you folks.
Yeah, you just get to hear Umi Zoomies in my background. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
It's the new show. It was before Fireman Sam, but no longer.
Well,
I was told I have to shush because we're not bringing up Fireman Sam. I think we've watched all 8 seasons probably like 80 times over. So
geez. It's like rereading a book, right?
oh, it's more than reading a book, let me tell you.
That reminds me, I think I managed to download from Facebook one of your lessons, but
Nice.
but after that, I don't know how I have something called Video Hunter that helps me to it's especially good for downloading things from YouTube, like all the This Week at NASA bits that I do. But Facebook's a little funnier, but that way it doesn't.
I could
seem
always,
to,
I've been,
Yeah.
I can send you some of the recordings because I always have them backed up when I do them through Zoom. So if it's
Mhm.
easier, I can just compress the file and send it to you if you're interested.
I like the Friday night bedtime stories.
I know Catherine loves doing them, and she asked me about them too. She's like, "Mommy, are we gonna tell a story to our friends?"
Oh, she's good. She's good. Kind of reminds me of Alden and Fiona on the podcast, Family Time podcast. That's good.
Yeah, I stole his idea.
It's a natural. It's a natural that can be shared.
Some days you get to see me looking halfway decent. Some days you get to see me looking terrible. Some days you get to see me.
I like the way your face kind of pops around in a little bubble around the
I
pages
know.
being read.
There you go.
Those are nice, and they're local. Even more important.
I know. All right. Well, if we don't have anything else, if somebody wants to make a motion to adjourn,
This is Mary. I make a motion to adjourn.
there
Thank
she
you,
is.
Mary. Oh, she's been there.
Second.
Second.
All right.
Somebody who
Well,
doesn't
all
have his
those in
hands on their.
favor? Aye.
I,
Okay. Thanks,
Awesome.
folks. Everybody get home
Everyone
safely.
have a great
Long weekend.
rest weekend and rest
Yeah.
and a long weekend too.
Right. I
And
am
still
going to try
remember to
and.
wear your mask. Just saying.
yeah.
I'm hoping to cover the Memorial Day ceremonies before I drive away. So, but not live. Not sure I can do that. Anyway, thank you all, and
All right. Thank you.
good night and good luck.
Everyone have a good
Thanks.
night. Bye bye.